Hey guys, Harrison101 back at it once again with back-to-back episodes of the Online Racer here on Harrison101 HD. A couple of races from Bahrain here in F1 2012's online multiplayer mode, and as well, we're going to be talking some predictions. I actually threw it out there to you, the viewers of the show, on Facebook and Twitter to decide what video I'd end up doing next, either this episode or a Racing Game Chronicles episode of Dirt 3. That'll be coming next week instead. And shout out to the sneaky little bastard who decided to put F1 2012 in the options in Facebook because I forgot to tick the allow other options to be added by other people box or something like that. I can't remember. Facebook is a tricky thing. But yeah, a lot of you guys are watching, probably because I mentioned this on Twitter and Facebook. This is a competition. I'll explain more about that towards the end of the video. But in the meantime, I've come up with 5 pretty bold Formula 1 predictions for the upcoming 2013 season starting next weekend, and they're pretty big. So let's get into it. I'm going to break these down and I'll explain how you can win a copy of F1 2013 at the end. So, bold prediction of Harrison number 1. I'd like to call it Harrison the First. Mark Webber will finish outside of the top 5 in the World Drivers' Championship standings. I'm sorry, people. I've got to say it. Mark Webber is overrated. I don't know why he keeps getting a free pass. Is it because he's older, so therefore we have to feel sorry for him? I mean, don't get me wrong. People know I'm a Red Bull fan. I don't make any bones about it, but I am objective when it comes to reporting these things. But I think this is the year that Webber falls out of the top 5. And I think a young buck will get in there and steal too many points off of him. There's a lot of guys out there who could rob Webber of key points, and Webber just does not have the consistency to be able to pull off maybe 5 race wins a season and be up there in the Drivers' Championship over the course of a 20 race season, or maybe 19 depending on what Bernie does with that to be confirmed date. But I don't think Webber's going to have enough to get in the top 5. I mean, he might scrape 5th, but in my opinion, this is a bold prediction. I don't think he's going to make the top 5 this year. I've always been unsure about what he can do, and I think this is now a this is going to be. I think he's going to get overtaken by some people. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's just how I see it. I think Vettel, Alonso are locks. I think Jenson Button is pretty much a lock as the number 1 guy in McLaren. If pardon me, sorry, yeah, bit of a cough. If Kimi Raikkonen has another good year, he'll get in there, no problem. And if someone like a Sergio Perez, Felipe Massa, or Romain Grosjean have a big year, then Webber will probably finish outside the top 5. So, look out for that. You heard it here first. Harrison prediction the 2nd. My bold prediction number 2. Lewis Hamilton will win at least 1 race this season. Mercedes were capable of pulling off a genuine miracle last year when Nico Rosberg won in Shanghai, and it was arguably the most dominating win of the season, mainly because second down to 13 had the world's biggest Formula 1 scrap. My point remains, though, Lewis Hamilton, I think, is the best pound-for-pound driver in Formula 1. Probably. It's between him and Vettel, because, you know, the proof's in the pudding with those two. It's 1A and 1B if you ask me, but I would probably take Hamilton just ahead of Sebastian Vettel. But I think he's got enough to will that car on to better things, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure the Mercedes car is a race winner this year. It certainly looks like it could challenge for some race wins, and I think Hamilton is good enough to push that car beyond its limit and probably steal a race win somewhere. I don't know where, but I think Mercedes are capable of doing that again like they did last year. I don't know how Rosberg did it, to be honest with you, but to this day it still baffles me, but hey, it works. So, yeah, I think Hamilton is capable of winning at least 1 race. Is that really a bold prediction? I don't know. You tell me, but it doesn't really matter. It's bold to me, and that's what matters, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of question marks about Mercedes right now. Speaking of which, bold prediction number 3. Mercedes will crack the top 3 of the World Constructors' Championship. of all of the bold statements, this might be the biggest reach. But the thing with Mercedes is that on paper, they have a lot going for them this year. They have a lot of guys in that team that were around when when Ferrari was so dominant, and when Renault were dominant for their 2-year stretch, when Alonso was double world champion. There's a lot of guys within that team who used to work for those two teams. They have Lewis Hamilton, which was the biggest pull their company will ever have as a driver. They got arguably the #1 pound-for-pound driver in the sport. They have a very solid #2 in Nico Rosberg. I mean, you could argue he's the best #2 in the sport. I mean, it's between him, Massa, and Webber. But Rosberg has always shown decent ability. Maybe this is the year that he steps it up and turns the corner. But yeah, I mean, I think Mercedes have got a real shot of cracking the top 3. It's a lot of things would have to fall into place, and they'd probably have to be consistent top 5 runners in order to do that. But they have the ability to do it on paper. So I'm going to throw it out there as a bold prediction. I mean, to do that, they'd have to crack the holy trinity of Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Ferrari seem to be the most susceptible to dropping out of that top 3. I mean, Lotus would have come pretty darn close if it wasn't for Grosjean's season, which again, I'll be referencing in a little bit. But yeah, I think Mercedes have got a real shot of cracking that top 3, so that's my bold prediction number 3. Number 4, Romain Grosjean will score at least 130 points. Yeah, I think Grosjean will turn the corner this year. I know he's become the running joke of Formula 1 because of his horrible starts last year, but I think Grosjean will put it together in 2013, and I think he'll use that very solid Lotus Renault car, which has been bumped up due to the amount of ad revenue money they got for doing so well in the Constructors last year, and I think Grosjean will score at least 130. I think that's about a 50-point increase on what he had last year, which I think would have been around the number he would have had if he didn't blow so many starts last year. So I'm going to say Grosjean will score at least 130 points. Again, do you think that will happen? Let me know. I think that's about right. It's a close one. But, yeah, we'll see. And bold prediction number 5. I know people are going to ask me, who do you think will win the World Championship? I'm going with Sebastian Vettel. Is it a bold prediction? Maybe. Alonso's bandwagon is pretty darn high after last season. A lot of people will always back Hamilton because he's Lewis Hamilton. Jenson Button now leads McLaren and has always been extremely solid, but I think his World Championship window is starting to close a little bit. I don't know if he's good enough to really contest the title again still, but I think Vettel is still the best driver-team combination in Formula 1, and I think that he will win a 4th World Championship in a row, which only Schumacher has done. Yeah, I think Vettel will win a 4th world title. Yes, call me biased. I know somebody out there is thinking it, but it's a pretty safe bet, really. But, I mean, the main contenders probably are Alonso and Button on paper. The wild card is Lewis Hamilton, depending on how well the Mercedes car is. Kimi Räikkönen, you can throw his name in the ring if Lotus have another solid car like they did last year. But I'm going with Vettel. And, yeah, there are my 5 bold predictions. I will run them down one more time. Mark Webber finishes outside of the top 5. Lewis Hamilton will win at least 1 race. Mercedes will crack at the top 3 of the World Constructors' Championship. Romain Grosjean will score at least 130 points. And Sebastian Vettel will win the World Drivers' Championship for the 4th time. Those are my 5 bold predictions. Now, to win a copy of F1 2013... your job is to predict how many of those bold predictions you think I will get right. You have until the season debut race on March the 17th, to guess in the comments how many of the 5 you think I will get right. So obviously, you're looking for a number between 0 and 5. Obviously, there's a chance I can get them all wrong, but surely that wouldn't happen, right? Right? Okay, the requirements. You have to be subscribed to this channel. Don't worry, I will check this. I keep all my subscription emails in my Gmail inbox, so I'd know if you subscribed or not. So you have to be subscribed to the channel, you have to like the video, comment with your prediction between 0 and 5. You're only allowed 1 guess. If I see more than 1 comment, from a YouTuber that has more than one number as a guess, I will disqualify you. All the guys who get the correct number, I will put in a hat and I will draw a name at random. That person will get a free copy of Formula 1 2013 at the end of the season in November on the console of your choice, whether it be Xbox 360, PS3, or whatever format you want. I will buy you a copy of that game as a prize. So, how many do you think I'll get right? Comment below, let me know. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, like, comment, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys next time. Get predicting. Until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.